I remember we had like a street pageant. It was just so unprofessional. Obviously, like it was us kids doing our thing. And then afterwards you win, but like, you win, like you go home. Like doing well at work or even getting your foot in and just like existing in the workplace, the abuse that you see at work, like people are just like depressed. I was on a billboard when I was on Mrs. South Africa. I had my face on a massive, massive billboard.
Welcome to Wellness Catch Up. I'm excited to be here. I welcome you all today. We have such an amazing guest. I'm excited. I've got Mrs. SA Finalist. She's a friend, she's a mom, she's a wife. She's a lot of things, and I'm grateful to have a front row seat in her life. I am welcoming you all. Deliwe. We've got Deliwe on the podcast. How are you, my friend?
Oh, my F, thank you. Thank you for such a beautiful welcome.
Thank you. I forgot to also mention she's my colleague, guys. You're my colleague as well, on top of that. How are you?
That. I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. How are you feeling about being a guest here? Finally, we're making it happen.
Finally, I feel so excited, my F. I feel like you and I have spoken about this. Also, guys, like I call her my F. I know it's weird, but we do it. It's our thing.
It's our thing.
So I'm excited, man. I've always just loved your work. I love everything about you. Like I'm so obsessed. We work in the same team and everything, but I just really love your work. I love the excellence that you bring to everything. So I'm excited to be here.
I'm so excited. Thank you. Thank you for honoring the invite.
Absolutely.
I don't even know where to start, Deliwe. We have a lot to talk about.
We do.
But as much as I've looked at your social media, I've known you for quite a while now. When I look at your social media, everything is beauty, pageant queen, mom. Those are the three things I see when I look at your Instagram. I see you being a mom. You post your little Nandi. You post your pageantry work, your mentorship work, which you're going to get deep into. But then for people that don't know, like myself, I want to take us back. For this first part of the episode, I want us to go back to Vaal.
Yes.
Deliwe from Vaal to the world. So I was actually thinking the other day, I was like, Deliwe has won so many dresses. You've walked on so many stages. You've done a lot of runway shows. You've done quite a lot. But then what was the first, I have three things. What was the first dress that you can recall that sparked the beauty lifestyle in you, or your first lip gloss, or your favorite hairstyle that you can recall from back in the days, like high school days, or even primary school, whenever the beauty bug got you?
Got me. Jeez. I don't think it was a dress in particular. I think it was more, I'll say shoes, high heels. I remember the first time I wore high heels, I was walking, oh my gosh, like it was so bad. But I wore them and I was going to church. Church was a very long distance from home, like maybe, I don't know. It was quite a while. It was quite a distance away. And my friends and I would just dress up for church. It was our thing. And high heels, I'm the one in the squad that came up with that, dressed up in high heels for the first time. We were in like youth ministry early, like in high school, grade 9. So my friends then were not thinking that, but I was just like, you know what? This is what's going to happen. I'm going to wear high heels. And ever since then, we're like, okay, cool. We can do this. We can do like a change of clothes thing. But I think that's what showed me how much I love this, how much this is more, like I just felt like this is me, And today at church, at work, that's like
you are a beauty queen. She was awarded as the best dressed in the office last year for our Christmas party. You got a whole certificate, which well deserved.
Actually,
deserved. It's your thing. No one can take it away from you. You're a beauty queen at heart. And what I love about you, it's not just on the outwards. It's literally internal as well. The conversations I have with people, everyone's just like, Deliwe is such a great person. Even people that haven't met you before, but hear conversations that when I mention your name at home, my mom was like, oh, Deliwe Uluki Lebatong. And she hasn't even met you yet. So you are beautiful inwardly, outwardly, the whole shebang. I love it.
Thank you.
I love it. I also wanted to ask, besides the heels, because it seems like the heels is what really started this journey.
Have you ever
elevated you?
Exactly, like when you wear heels, it's like you even walk differently. That's what I realized then. Of course, I wasn't very good at balancing and all, but like I just felt elevated and better.
Amazing.
I love it.
And then before that, was Deliwe like a whole different person before the beauty started?
I think I was always. I mean, if I think back, honestly, since I was a kid, I was in beauty pageants. I remember when I entered Mrs. South Africa, my mentor and I at the time, we spoke a little bit about where this whole thing comes from. I told her, I was like, I lived in Zone 12 Sebokeng for my Vaal
Shout
people.
out.
Shout out. And I remember we had like a street pageant. It was just so unprofessional, obviously. Like it was us kids doing our thing. And then afterwards you win, but like, you win. Like you go home. There's
You
no,
go home.
I don't think we even had questions. It was just very like informal and fun. It was like part of the play, thing. And I love that I entered those things. It was a no-brainer. Even the other kids are like, yeah, they lose again now. What way to I get to Miss Zone 12 Sebokeng.
So you were like the Sarafina when it
I
came
was
to beauty.
also Sarafina.
Girl, you were the Sarafina.
Actually.
You were Sarafina at some point. You're
I was.
the it girl. You've always
I
been there.
was.
That's beautiful.
Oh, I loved it. I think then it showed then we see, okay, something here. And it's not just, I don't think it was just in me. I think it was also the people around me because it was like, they'll put me in front, It's just like in school when they want to send somebody to go read and they know it should be Tracy or whatever. And then it becomes part of you and then you just own it and then you run with it.
There's actually a quote by Drake that goes, the chosen one, flowers never pick themselves. So I guess it's that with you. You were the chosen one. People would just pick you and like, okay, Deliwe, go do this. Or Deliwe, represent, And that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Do you ever like think of how life could have been if you were not in the beauty space? If the beauty, lifestyle, pageantry didn't exist?
Honestly,
what would you do in life? And media as well. Like, what kind of life would you live? Ideally, let's create a different Deliwe outside of all of these things. What other interests would you have?
I would say, from when you're speaking now, immediately I was like, I can't imagine that. What is that? And then when you said remove, okay, let's just, like how you structured the question now. I'm thinking it would be somebody that is a mom, like just, mom jeans and everything, tracksuits, every day, drop off my kid, come back, whatever I have to do. Probably nothing in the beauty space in that, like I'm not participating, but I would definitely be somebody that wants maybe to push her child into, doing all the fun things that she may want to do. I probably would live it through her, which I kind of am now.
You would be
actually.
Kris Jenner.
I would be Kris Jenner.
Mrs.
Yes.
Mom, and then in the future, Mamaja.
Exactly.
Yes, I see you being in that family. If beauty and all these things didn't exist, I see that you have great family values.
That's
it's
it.
A beautiful
that's
thing
it.
to have.
I'm a wife. I'm a wife and I'm a mom. I think that's even when I was in primary school. I actually once wrote an essay about my future, something like that. And I wrote all about my husband and my children, and I will be on TV. I am on TV
it's
now.
Crazy how dreams come true, right?
Yeah.
The Bible says, write the vision down. Habakkuk.
Yes.
Habakkuk, write the vision down, and that's what you were doing.
100%.
And you were not aware of it even, because you're living exactly the life you wrote down there. You have a husband, you have a child, you work well, you're doing exactly what your heart desires, and that's beautiful. I'd love for us to go through the Mrs. SA journey. I want to know how that started. How did the Mrs. SA journey start?
My friend, we spoke about when I started, like since I was a kid. So confidence was something I always had. I just had it, since I was a kid. I always, when they said go, I did. I was never like, oh, me, oh, nyasaba.
Oh, you were never doubtful of yourself.
Yeah, I really wasn't. But somewhere in life, I became very doubtful of myself. I remember after university, varsity was like, it was amazing because I also entered a lot of pageants. I think that's when I started professionally doing this whole thing. I was in professional stages. I wore the most beautiful, well-designed outfits and dresses. And I was like, this is my life, But afterwards, I mean, the struggles of, doing well at work or even getting your foot in and just existing in the workplace, the abuse that you see at work, people are just depressed. They just can't wait to get out of here, maybe win the lotto or something, it's just it just seemed also depressing. And I think that's when I lost a whole lot of my confidence. It's layers of it were just removed, you know what I mean? And I think, and then I got married, I had a child, I had all sorts of things that contributed to me trying to find me, like just trying again. Because I figured at some point, I was like, okay, Deliwe is somewhere inside of me. Like,
you lost her a bit.
I did. I really did. And what's nice is that Mrs. South Africa was just a continuation. I mean, I started doing yoga. I started just paying more attention to my mental health, trying to eat well, trying to exercise. All those little things were just steps towards me trying to find me. COVID did help a little bit. So after all of that, then Mrs. South Africa, I remember I had also part of the things I started doing was just getting more in touch with my God. Just, I don't know how to put it. It's like I was always a church girl. I mean, I just said now that we were going to church and all of that. But really, for the first time, I think I had a much deeper relationship. Like I actually was more, I don't know how to explain it, but it was just better. Like I was more sensitive to the Holy Spirit. I could actually have a conversation. I had quiet times more. Like it was better. And what that did is it helped me hear God. I remember on my birthday, I sat with my notebook and I was just like writing down the things that I'm grateful for, things that Deliwe, like how Deliwe like was before and how Deliwe will be going forward. And this was my birthday the year before. So 2023 is when I did Mrs. South Africa, but 2022 was when I sat down and I wrote down the things that I want to do. And Mrs. South Africa was always one of the things I've always wanted to do. It just seemed like the furthest thing. Like I have to be, I don't know what first before I get there. Like I have
like
to
out
be
of
a
this
CEO.
world kind of dream. Yeah,
Exactly. Like it felt so far that I still want to do it and I will, but just like not now. And a few months later, my sister-in-law, Deliwe Selepe.
We love Katleho. Katleho, if you're watching this,
Shout out to you,
shout
girl.
out to you, girl.
She entered a beauty pageant, and I was just so impressed. I was like, wow, it was also a Mrs. Beauty pageant. I was like, girl, I love this. And I was just so supportive of her journey. We did so many things together. I was helping her what she needed help. You need a whole community when you do this.
Yes.
I was a big part of hers. And she asked me once, she said, have you ever thought of entering Mrs. South Africa? I was like, yes. This is now towards the end of that year.
2022, yes.
Exactly. I was like, yes, obvious. I mean, you know this. And she was like, yeah, no, I think you should think about it a little bit more. And I thought about it actually a lot more in January of 2023, which is when applications close in Jan. But in January of 2023, I was like, okay, I'm going to do this. I was sitting down under a tree. I remember exactly where I was. And I had my notebook again, the same notebook. And one of the things that I heard God saying to me is just nudging me towards Mrs. South Africa. I started, going through the page, going through the social media and seeing that actually, like, it's an every woman thing. Like, I don't think I have to be anything that I'm not today to enter Mrs. South Africa.
You're enough. Just
I'm
the
enough,
way you are. Yeah.
Exactly. And I just did. I entered, and that was the most fulfilling. Oh my gosh. It was just, I'm happy I said yes to that.
That's
I'm happy.
Top 3 things you learned from that journey.
Sure. First of all, you're enough. I'm enough. I learned that there is really, and I said this when they asked me in the semis, like at around June, July, we had like semis and you have judging to go through to the finals. And one of the judges asked me, she said to me, girl, what would you say is something you're taking from Mrs. South Africa? And I said, actually, I was on a billboard when I was on Mrs. South Africa. I had my face on a massive, massive billboard. I had a car sponsored with my name on it. They said Motors Renault is proudly sponsoring Deliwe Selepe. Like so many things that I could have never, just a few months ago, I could have never imagined. I barely thought I was enough. You know what I mean? So all those things that I thought were impossible, that were not even in my just mind, they all happened. So the one thing I'm taking from that is that actually the sky's the limit.
The sky's
the limit. So that's the second thing. And the last thing I learned is sisterhood. I learned that you have to have a community. You know when they say, but what's in it? Community raises a child, something like that.
Yes.
The whole village. Yeah,
Yes.
you need a village. You need
a village.
You need villages. Like for Mrs. South Africa, let me tell you,
Couple of them, not just
a
one.
couple. You know what I mean? But over and above that, in life outside Mrs. South Africa, you still need those villages. You need your friends. You need your family. You need people that will be there and rooting for you and doing all the things. You know.
Oh, I love that.
Like you are to me.
Thank you, my F. You also inspire me in so many ways. I think the confidence that I have built, and I think I've never told you this, the confidence I've built in having this podcast and, putting myself out there is greatly inspired by what you do. I'm like, listen, if the same way you saw Katleho doing that beauty, pageantry and all those things, you're like, oh, if Katleho can do it, I can. So when I look at you, it's like, if Deliwe can do it, I can. And as I'm thinking about it right now, it feels like sisters holding hands. Katleho held your hand and said, look, I did it. How about you? You did your thing. And like, Tracy, I did it. Because I'd look at your podcast that you have with Katleho. And I'd be like, if these ladies can do it,
so
I have no excuse, So it's just sisters holding their hands as we walk through life. And that's sisterhood, I like that. And I'm highly inspired by the work that you've done. You're such an amazing person.
Aww.
And then I also want to ask about, are you comfortable with me mentioning your age?
Yes.
Since you're 32, I was thinking, the other day I was just thinking that there's this thing I've been seeing on TikTok where people have, like they post a video or a picture and they're like, oh, today I had lunch with my 18-year-old self and she ordered this, I ordered this. She asked me these questions. This is what I told her. And when I look at those videos, I'm like, wow, or like the pictures and how people caption them. It's as if your older self is telling your younger self that, listen, like if I were to sit with my younger self, I think she wouldn't believe that I'm living the life that I'm living. I'd have to tell her that, listen, what you're stressing about right now, honey, there's still a lot to come.
So irrelevant.
You're a star, sweetie. I would be Kris Jenner to my younger self. I'd be
yes,
like,
exactly.
Sweetie, you're doing amazing, So I've always thought,
such a queen.
You're such a queen. You've got this. You've got this. Hey, the sky's the limit. You're crying about little things and you don't know what God has planned for you ahead. So I wanted to pass this on to you as well, that since you're 32, do you ever think of 16-year-old Deliwe? And what would you say to 16-year-old? What would you say to 16-year-old Deliwe? What do you think she would say looking at you right now as a 32-year-old mom, wife, sister, entrepreneur, media girly? You're doing the most.
I would tell her to focus on who she is in the eyes of God. I would tell her to get a deeper relationship with God. Like, I would tell her that, listen, all the things you're worried about today, one day you'll have an encounter with Jesus and you won't have, you'll realize how just nothing those things were.
The little
that you're
things,
worried about.
those are just little things.
Like, listen, not important. Because once you have an encounter with Jesus, your life is going to change. You'll believe in yourself more because you will know. He will reveal to you a little bit more who you
really
are.
Yes.
And that person, you haven't even scratched the surface. You're thinking, oh, I'm gonna be married and a mom and a wife, and I'm gonna be on TV, and you know what? You're going to do much more meaningful. Like, it's going to be yes to all of that, but it will be so much better than you think. Like, you don't have to worry about all of this. And I had a little, I think maybe in varsity, I had anxiety, a lot of it, because I used to think about the people that study what I did, that studied what I was studying at the time, that just are not employed. And I was like, oh my gosh, I want to go on TV. How am I going to do that when I can't even get a job?
Yeah, and also the people that have gone before you, they're struggling. So
I'm seeing evidence. So that was very stressful for me. And I'm deep in this degree. I'm second year. I can't now go change. What was I doing?
Oopsie.
You know what I mean?
It's such an oopsie. It's like, oh, did I choose the right thing?
Oh goodness. How is this going to end? And I would go back and tell that girl to stop worrying, because and this is what my mom actually did say. She said, stop worrying, because your journey is your journey. It won't be the same as anyone else's journey. Even with that person, you don't know where else. Maybe God has in fact, not maybe, God has a plan for that person, and you may not see it now. They may not see it now, but they will. So Liwena, just know, my mom told me that, and I would tell her that, and maybe coming from me, she'd believe it.
Yes, coming from you, she would believe it.
She would.
Definitely. Oh, I relate so much with what you're saying, because when I was studying at Boston Media House and I was in final year, I also felt like, oh my goodness, I might not get a job, because my parents hardly believed in this whole media thing. I remember the day I signed my first registration form at Boston Media House. My dad even held my hand like, are you sure? My dad wanted me to be a lawyer so bad. He was like, are you sure you're doing the right thing here? And I'm like, Papa, yes, I'm sure what I'm doing. I've always been someone that's very set on what I want to do. Like I told you from when I was 16, when I was in 10th grade, I was like, I want to go to Boston Media House in varsity. I'm not yet in matric, but it shows the power of vision, writing it down, speaking life, saying this is what I'm going to do. And then you end up doing it. When you put it out there in the world, God meets you halfway.
Yes.
They always say that God will do the things he knows you can't do, but he will not do the things that he knows you can do. You need to write the vision down. You need to speak life. You need to have faith. Then he'll meet you halfway and help you achieve those things,
Exactly.
So definitely your 16-year-old self, she would be so shocked. She would be so shocked that, listen, we are doing the most.
Yes.
You're doing the most.
Yes.
And I love that. I want us to get into a second part of our episode to shift the focus a bit more into sisterhood and motherhood and womanhood.